Hey there, my name is Dostar, and today I'd like to talk about active imagination. You've probably come across the work of Carl Jung. He was a cross-cultural, developmental, quasi-psychologist, spiritual seeker, teacher, and you've probably seen him around, right? It's a pretty common name in New Age circles, in psychology circles, in people who are interested in alternative forms of consciousness or whatever you want to call it. And he had this amazing insight into active imagination. He realized that people could go into realms of consciousness that were beyond their own experience. And that's what he called active imagination. Now, this is a very creative act. This is something that everyone has the skill of to varying degrees, and it's also a skill that can be developed. It's also something that has its own metrics, its own ways of going in and out and exploring and expanding and becoming more juicy and more vivid, right? Now, if you just sense your imagination, if you just sense how clear it is, you know immediately that it's a very different experience to just normal thinking. And the way in which we apply this to our lives is by actually expanding our consciousness. Now, we do this in many ways. We do this in very basic ways, right? Just by thinking about, what are you going to do after this video? What are you going to do later today? What is it that the next month or year holds for you in your life? Where is it that you came from? What is it that's important to you in your life? What were the events in your life that significantly affected the formation of your understanding of who you are? Now, all of this involves, in varying degrees, in different ways, active imagination. Now, of course, it's nested in reality. It's nested in real experiences that you've had. It's nested in things that you understand about the world, about what's possible, about where you are, about what you're doing, about what consequence your actions have, what consequence your choices have, right? So it's a very dynamic thing. It opens up in many different ways. Now, to get into a little bit of how active imagination works, basically, you close your eyes and then you visualize something. And then whatever you're visualizing, you work out how can you change that vision. Now, vision is one of the interior sensory phenomenons that we have. And it has a correlation between actual vision that we have when we're looking out our eyes in normal consciousness, just like you're looking out your eyes now, right? Whatever you're looking out, that's happening. And that's great. That's one of the foundational pillars of active imagination. It's visualizing. Now, another component is the order in which events and situations change, right? When you look at what's happening inside your mind, you might be in a certain situation, you might be seeing a certain thing, and then it will change into another thing. And that's what you notice when you're having dreams. Right? Things change from one thing to another thing quite randomly. It's quite strange, and it might be far outlandishly unconnected to one thing to another. And yet somehow you just accept it, right? Now, another thing that happens in active imagination is the sensory perception of feeling. It's the feeling in your body, how you sense your body. And I say it's a sensory perception kind of thing because it is its own kind of sensing, right? How do you sense your body? How do you feel in your body? Are you aware of how you feel in your body right now? Can you notice there's any sort of reaction to what I'm saying? Any sort of thing that's going into you? Whether your hands are sweaty or you're feeling normal, or you're feeling cold, or you're feeling warm, whether your heart's beating or not beating fast. Right? There's so much to it, and the body is very foundational to the experience that we have. And one of the core critical bridges that we have from real consciousness, or what we could say normal waking consciousness, into active imagination is through the body. And this is actually one of the ways in which you learn to affect your body through the mind. Do you know how to make your body feel ecstasy? Do you know how to make your body open up to explosive love? Do you know how to make your body relax? Now, of course, when I say it like this, it sounds like you're doing something to your body. It's like there's this separate thing that affects the body that you're in, and then you are this other thing, right? It's very abstract and very out there. Well, actually, that's just a funny roundabout way of talking about it. And in fact, that's not even the right approach, right? You can't exactly directly affect your body. But it is that you can go through active imagination, right? If we put you into a certain situation where you feel ecstasy or certain visions which induce ecstasy, then you will be using your active imagination to affect your body in a roundabout way. There are more steps to the process than you think. There are more ways in which you have to break it down and work with it consciously. Now, that being said, these processes are proven, right? Nothing I'm telling you now, you don't already know. Many people talk about this. Many people teach this. Many people have a very simple, clear, and easy to understand way of approaching this. And it's amazing stuff. It's very rare that someone actually stumbles upon a concept like active imagination, as Carl Jung put it forth, and realize the immense potential of it, the immense power of it. It's an extraordinary thing. There's so many things that can open up for you. Now, I have an online course on archetypal psychology, and that goes into many of the psychological experiences of archetypal psychology, such as how Carl Jung talked about them. But actually, what I want to tell you about is an online course that I have on time travel. And that is even more significant than archetypal psychology. My course on time travel utilizes the metrics of active imagination to go deep into your consciousness, to explore the boundaries, to open up to new realms. And this does allow you to feel explosive love, to feel ecstasy, to become timeless, to look at who you are. What are you doing with your life? What is it that you want? How do you feel about how old you are? What is it that is exactly going on when you connect with your body, with your sense of sight, with your sense of being in a place right now? Like, do you notice that you're in a place right now? Do you notice that? Do you notice what it means to be here in this room, wherever you are? And do you notice how it's funny that it's different when you actually go to sense what it's like to be in this room, as compared to listening to an idea or a concept that someone's talking to you about, such as I'm doing right now? Can you see how far apart they are, right? Sensing the room that you're in and listening to a conceptual idea, they're very different experiences. And further still, active imagination is a different experience again. The whole world of human experience is just waiting to open up within you. It's a beautiful thing when you discover a concept, you see its potential, and then you work at it, you do the process, you take the steps, and then everything unfolds in this beautiful opening. It's an incredible thing. I can only wish that for more people. Follow the link in the description of this video to learn time travel. There's a major section on active imagination. So when you're ready, you can have the preview videos for free. Just go ahead, check it out. Otherwise, follow the link in the description of this video and enroll today.